Okay, Babysitter's a vampire. Welcome back to Every Disney Movie Ever. My name is Jess and I'm watching Every Disney Movie Ever. Today I'm going to talk about My Babysitter's a Vampire. My Babysitter's a Vampire is a 2011 Canadian television release about Ethan and Benny finding out that Ethan's babysitter is a vampire fledgling and how they help her fight evil vampires. It is directed by Bruce McDonald, cinematography by Rudolf Blahacek, editing by Ellen Fine, music by James Chappell, Graham Cornies, David Bryan Kelly, and Brian L. Pickett, written by Tim Burns. The film stars Matthew Knight as Ethan, Vanessa Morgan as Sarah, Atticus Mitchell as Benny, Cameron Kennedy as Rory Kate, Todd as Erica, and Joe Dinicol as Jesse. The film is a Canadian horror comedy, and it did produce a television series after this that had 2 seasons. This was definitely giving like 2010, 2011 look and vibe, but it also looked pretty high quality for a television release. Like, some of the cinematography was really cool. There was a shot in particular when they were sneaking into the theater that was really great, and then there were just some other really good looking shots as well. The effects weren't very good, but again, television release. My favorite part is definitely the Twilight parody look, which I can dive into later. The music was definitely giving like 2000s like sleepover movies. Definitely like the Girl Next Door song was super reminiscent. I feel like that was really good. I really liked that song. It was a bop for sure. And there were a couple other song moments that were really good. And the score itself didn't stand out too much. It fit the vibe in the movie and was good. There is a Twilight parody in this universe. So basically this movie is about how these kids find out that there are actually vampires, right? And in universe, they basically have the Twilight series and it's all the rage, except it's not called Twilight, it's called Dusk. And the third movie coming out is called Unbitten. Which I think is really funny, and it's definitely a Twilight ripoff. Like, the font is the same, the posters are the same, and then scenes from the movies are the same. They do, like, sparkling vampire, but, like, shitty quality. Sorry for my language. They do, like, the, say it out loud, like that scene in the forest. They similar vibe to, oh my gosh, so funny. Or, like, how she doesn't care and she just wants to get bit and be turned into a vampire, like, all really hilarious, genuinely. And then the movie, the dialogue is really bad. It's really uncomfortable, it's really bad. And the movie itself is not great, but hear me out. I had a blast. I thought this movie was so fun. It had some genuinely funny moments. And it was really, like, campy, which, like, you kind of get from a comedy horror. I thought this was a good time. The dialogue was really bad. The plot is a little, but it was funny. I liked it. I had a great time. It's one of those, like, bad movies that are good, I feel like. But it's definitely not, like, the worst movie I've watched that I've also enjoyed. So, something, like, right at the beginning, some kid tells this little girl to make, like, an egg and beat it. No. Terrible. Jesse, the vampire, the lead vampire who ends up being the, evil villain, he drank the principal's coffee. Like, in front of the principal, was like, oh, French roast, good call. I knew he would probably be bad news or a vampire, but that's your first introduction to him, and I was like, oh my word, who drinks the principal's coffee? So insane. This is so stereotypical, so exactly what you'd think. Like, Ethan's the, like, good guy who wants the girl. Benny's the nerdy best friend who's, like, obsessed with babes. The little sister is, like, I'll tell mom unless you pay up or do this, that, and the other. Sarah is like the pretty but down-to-earth girl. Erica is the nerd that wants to be cool, so she ends up as a vampire, and, like, all this kind of stuff. It has every, like, of all that stereotypes going on. But it's still fun. They still had a good time with it. Again, so genuinely funny. One of my favorite moments is when they're in Ethan's room holding the door down, and Sarah says, what do you have for weapons? And it's this whole sequence of, like, how about this? And she goes, a debating trophy? And he's like, it's pointy. And then Benny pulls like a hockey stick or something and says, we can whittle this into a stick. And Ethan goes, no, 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 that's autographed. And Benny looks at it and goes, Ryan Seacrest? I died laughing. Because, like, of all the names I thought he was going to whip out, Ryan Seacrest was not one of them. And, like, that's hilarious. I thought that was so funny. So it had a lot of golden moments like that. And then it had, like, really bad, cheesy, cringe moments. You know, it's just one of those. It's campy. It's fun. There were some really bad ADR moments. Not like matching wise, but environment wise. It sounded very much not in the environment, which was a bummer. But again, every movie's got ADR. You win some, you lose some. Alright, my favorite part, that is genuinely hard to choose. I do love the Ryan Seacrest moment. That made me laugh. A good one. The whole movie theater fight sequence is fun. Like when Benny and the girl behind the counter have the whole Star Wars moment. That's really cute. Rory being an idiot is insane. Like when he reads the line, he says that's a great metal lyric and then screams it like a metal song. I don't know. This movie is ridiculous. The fudgesicle to the pants and then Benny saying it looks like he pooped out his front. Like that. It's stupid. So lots of funny moments. My least favorite part is the dialogue. Like some of the dialogue was so cringy and took me out of it, but otherwise it was a good time. Recommend? Totally. This is fun. This is like, it's giving like Under Wraps or Tower of Terror or any of those like Disney Channel original like Halloween movies. Halloween, you know, like it's campy, it's fun, but there might be some cringy dialogue or cringy moments. It's given that same vibe for sure. Watch again? I totally would. By the way, I watched this for free online through like Roku TV. It's like totally free right now. I thought there were going to be ads because it had little dots. There weren't any ads when I watched it. So hop on over and give this a watch. I would be tempted to watch the TV show because I feel like with how ridiculous this was, I feel like the TV show would be funny. It was giving like if Degrassi were not nearly as dramatic and had like horror, sci-fi, fantasy, and comedy in it. Well, not that Degrassi didn't have comedy, but you know, Degrassi was the teen soap opera. Specific moments. Erica being like a total brat and a half. The parents keep going on these themed date nights and then getting injured, which I thought was funny. Erica not dying. I was kind of shocked by that. I thought she was going to be one of the vampires that would die, but she was still alive at the end. And then Sarah being kept alive as a fledgling on knockoff human blood that Benny's spellcasting grandmother makes out of pocket. My biggest complaint actually would probably, besides the dialogue, would be the vampire teeth location. I feel like nowadays the vampire teeth go where the canines are. You know, like your canine, the pointy ones we already have, that's where our vampire teeth go. And this one, it was those two right next to your front two teeth. And I know like traditional like Nosferatu has the front two, but I feel like that is just, it looked weird. They all looked weird. Where like I feel like if they're in a natural canine position, it wouldn't have looked as weird. So that was kind of but otherwise still a great time. I had a blast. That's everything I have for My Babysitter's a Vampire. I'm gonna give this 6 fangs vampires out of 10. Our total movie count is. Parent death toll and cry count are still the same. If you want to keep up with Movie I'm Watching When, follow me on all socials to find out Movie I'm Watching When. I put out videos every Monday and Friday and sometimes Wednesday. Join Patreon. I got tiers starting at just $1. You get every video a week early, a coupon code for merch, exclusive merch access, tiers above that, daily trivia, monthly postcards, which I have to do. Okay, I can't forget. Merch, etc. I can get my autograph on merch, that kind of stuff. Go check it out. Buy merch. Merch is great. Merch is grand. There it is. Oh, you can't really see the castle. There it is. Until next time, comment, like, and subscribe. But I'm not in charge of real life. You are, should you? And don't be Jessie about it. So heard by Rudolf Blahacek. Blahacek. Blahacek, maybe. Okay.